Hey everybody, Shane here. Hey, look, you've heard me talking about my friends at Joseph Meyer Club, and I want you to go over, check them out at josephmeyerclub.com today and try out their brand new aftershave. And if you use my promo code RPPJMC20, you can try it today with 20% off. So just enter that code at checkout. Again, RPPJMC20 at checkout at josephmeyerclub.com. And yeah, it's a great product. I've been using it myself and I love it, and it smells great. And so check it out for all your aftershave needs. Again, josephmeyerclub.com. Follow them on Facebook as well for more information. And yeah, tell them Shane sent you. Thanks, everybody.
Hey everybody, Shane Presley here with Rock Paper Podcast. Let me tell you about my friends over at Naked Vine. Located at 1624 Clarkson Road in Chesterfield, Missouri. Serving up all your favorite wine, whiskey, tequila, local craft beers. Hey, swing by and visit them this week for some great live music from Nick Gussman on Thursday, March 7th. And Diesel Island will be out there Friday, March 8th. And the Scandaleros on Saturday, March 9th. I return to Naked Vine with my singer-songwriter storytelling showcase on Tuesday, March 12th, bringing along my good friends Brad No, Jenny Rokas, and Andrew Ryan. $5 cover for that show, 7 o'clock start. So come on out and join us at Naked Vine. All this information and more can be found at nakedvine.net. Be sure to follow along with them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the show.
Podcast is kind of like it's like a radio show that's not on the radio. It's on the internet. Does that make sense? Uh-huh. Yeah. That's also like my mom. It makes it sound more confusing, doesn't it? It sounds like this.
This is Kenny Lee Hall. This is Rock Paper Podcast with Shane Presley.
Rock Paper Podcast. Rock Paper Podcast. Rock Paper Podcast, y'all.
All right, this song is it's called "Wrong Thing at the Right Time" because that's kind of what I do or have done a lot of. So. Well, she stood with her back to the mirror, and she turned and she looked to her rear, and the words that she needed to hear ain't what I said. She said, "Does this dress make my butt look fat?" So I reached around and I gave it a pat. I said, "No, dear, I don't think it's that. I think your dress is just fine." Oh, I said the wrong thing at just the right time. Now I'm in the doghouse, the dog is in mine. I said the first thing that came to my mind. I said the wrong thing at just the right time. Got pulled over, I was using my phone, doing 80 in a construction zone. And he asked me how fast I was going. And I said, "Well, if you don't know, I ain't gonna tell you." He made me get out and walk a straight line. I tripped and fell, but I said I was fine. I said I'd had way too much of your wine. And he said, "Boy, You think you're funny. That's when I said the wrong thing at just the right time. Now I'm in the doghouse and the dog is just fine. I said the first thing that came to my mind. I said the wrong thing at just the right time. Well, her girlfriend came over to visit a bit, and I thought she might like a nice place to sit. But her couch was all covered with my old lady's stuff, so I offered up my recliner. She smiled and she said, no thank you. And I said, well you should. And when's that baby due? And she said, I ain't pregnant. Well, she sure had me fooled. And I said, well, I hope you're wrong. Yeah, I said the wrong thing at just the right time. Now I'm in the doghouse and the dog is in mine. I said the first thing that came to my mind. I said the wrong thing at just the right time. Oh, I say the wrong thing at all the right times.
Hey everybody, Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast, coming to you from St. Louis, Missouri. Hanging out today with Kenny Lee Hall. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you, sir, and welcome to my little corner of the world here in St. Charles, and happy President's Day to you.
Yeah, happy President's Day, everybody. Even though this will air later, but we're celebrating here, hanging out, talking all things Kenny Lee Hall and everything else going on. But this is cool, man. It's kind of been something I've been looking forward to for a while. I think we met the first time at a Songbird Cafe.
That is
show.
True. But of course, your face is all over the internet in the music circle, so I knew who you were long before we got a chance to meet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. That's flattering that people are noticing things before you know who I am. But
well, it's like you're sitting in a room and you hear people whispering and pointing. Hey, there's Shane Presley. It's like the guy that the Pope and the. Yeah, it's a long story. Not a funny story. I'm not even going to start that. Okay, hey, how's your interview going so far, Shane? Before I hijacked it there. Good.
It is pretty crazy that I was kind of telling you a bit about it as I walked in about we started this. Me and my buddy Chris started this show nearly 5 years ago, just as something to do, something fun, and it's crazy to think that still doing this almost 5 years later, and that it's become something. People actually, people want to be a part of the show. That's crazy for me to think about, and I get messages from people around the country that want to be a part of it and all this different stuff. So yeah, it is pretty wild for me. Even I had to pinch myself and think about it sometimes that this that it's become what it is and already in the short amount of time, and that I have this sort of
following
and reputation.
You can say it.
Yeah, it's weird. Even just Friday night I was out, or Saturday night I was out at the bar, and I got a big shout out from the band playing and telling everybody check out rockpaperpodcast.com and all this. I was like, so, and all my friends, some high school friends, they were there, and they're like, all looked at me like, are you famous now or something? I was like, I don't know, maybe, apparently.
Local legend. Well, yeah, I mean, there's something to that, and you should be proud of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a great show, and it's a good service that you're doing, because it's a good way for people to find out what other people are doing, your weekend thing or weekday thing. Honestly, I don't know how you have time to do all of it, but you post everything that everybody's doing, and you get to see where other people are playing, and more well-known acts and local people that you've never heard of, and so yeah, it's a good thing that you're doing, man. That's why it's probably gotten to the spot where it is.
Yeah, well,
so good luck to you, man. Keep it going.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate that.
Coming up on 700.
Yeah, getting there. Creeping up on 700 now, and again, that's crazy to think about. That still keeping this going, but
yeah.
But yeah, no, I've been. So we met that night. I believe was that the night Joe played there, or
no? I think it was Emily Walsh was there.
Emily Hillary night. And. Yeah, I've been to a few of them over there, and it's always a great time. But
oh, that's a great venue.
Yeah,
it's a great venue.
Yeah, big shout out to Steve putting all that together.
Man.
He does a great job.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is that when he puts people together, there's just some kind of magic that happens. And I've heard lots of other people say that too. Mm-hmm. He just has a way of picking the right people to be there together, and it just flows real well. And what a great way to go hear music.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I know he's been at it much longer than I have, but that's one of my biggest, not that people are really saying it to me or anything, but that's one of my biggest, goals, when I've been kind of getting into booking my own showcase now, and that's kind of my biggest thing is trying to pick 3 people that I really think will either go well together, or I like to put in 3 complete strangers together and see what happens too. So it's and it always works out great, but it's an interesting experiment every time to see. Sometimes you get 3 buddies that they all kind of goof on each other, and then you get 3 that, like I said, strangers, and then they spend the first couple songs kind of figuring out who each other are, and then they, by the end of it, they realize they have much more in common than they ever thought they did.
And they get to know each other.
Yeah.
In a way that they wouldn't.
Sure.
If you weren't putting them together.
But I don't know how much of that Steve. I'm sure Steve thinks about all that stuff too when he's putting it together. But it's a fun. I mean, now being on the other side of it as actually booking them instead of just being a fan. It's been a lot of fun to play with that kind of. It's like that. So
you're. I think I was at one of the first shows that you did there.
First one at Naked Vine. Yeah.
Yeah. With Joe. Was Joe the first?
Yep, first one in it was June with Out There Joe and Tyler Lewis and Seth Brand. Yeah. It was a good night.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the things that I noticed about that night was that at the Naked Vine, and it was I think it was people didn't know what to expect. Mm-hmm. And I had not been there. I'd been there a few times, but not really for that kind of a thing. But it was fairly noisy. People were just doing their regular bar thing or whatever. I watched a couple of shows, the recent ones since then, that you had done out there. I watched them online. I mean, the clips that you posted, and I was noticing that there's no background noise.
Yeah.
So it's gotten quiet, which is a really good thing. That says a lot.
Yeah. There's definitely it's been taking take some time to kind of train the audience a little bit to what we were doing, trying to create that listening room experience and stuff. So it's been working out. Cool. Yeah, like I said, people are very respectful of it, and actually, there's still that interaction with the crowd, but yeah, there's not too many table conversations going on and stuff. So. Yeah, I've been real happy with out there, but I've been having a lot of fun bringing a bunch of my friends out. But yeah, you jumped up that night. I think Joe gave you one of his songs, and
Joe's like that. You got to be careful when you're around Joe at a show because he pull you in and make you do something. Yeah. So yeah, it was fun.
You did a version of Almond Milk that night. Yeah. Which was a whole lot of fun.
That's almost every song that I lay out, I say, well, this is probably one of the dumbest songs I wrote. And as it turns out, I usually top that every time because they just keep getting dumber. Yeah, Almond Milk was. I was sitting at the breakfast table, and we were, my wife is very much into nutrition, and we're always trying different things. So, eating cereal and poured some almond milk on it. I'm looking at the carton. There's a big almond on there, and there's milk everywhere. The almond's about the size of a coconut.
Right.
And there's milk everywhere, but there's no place for the milk to get out of the almond, and so then I just wrote it. And that was like one of those 10-minute songs.
Right.
And it's as dumb as the day is long, but people seem to respond to it. So
Well, it's I mean, it's funny, but it's like it's one of those silly things. Like we all just kind of go through accepting it as almond milk, but it's like we think about it like you answer all the questions, or you bring up all the questions that we all think about and stuff. So it's like it's definitely one of those like very relatable songs for me. Like
there is no lactation in the nut world.
Right.
Hey, it's the way it is.
Yeah. But that was a lot of fun, man. I'm glad that Joe. I guess that was the first time I guess I was able to see you live. Like I said, we had met before and we talked a bit, but getting to see Joe bringing you up on stage was my first time actually getting to watch you perform live. So that was a lot of fun that night.
Oh, glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah. But let's like I said, this is our first time really getting to talk a lot. You know, like so, it was kind of brief before, but I wanted to know a little bit more about Kenny Lee Hall and all these songs and stuff, and some more of those stories about how these songs came about. So I guess. So
what you're saying is you've had a level of success that you're willing to risk. So sure, I'll tell you all about me. We can bring this podcast to a screeching halt.
Is this something you've been doing for a long time? I mean,
well, I've been writing songs for a long time. You know, just hobby kind of stuff, and then I kind of did this whole thing backwards, where I have 5 kids, and so raised all my kids, and played a little bit here and there, but played out a little bit here and there, but as the kids got older and didn't need me wiping their noses so much, then I thought, well, let's dive in on the music thing, and so I started going to. We're talking maybe 5 years, maybe less than that, maybe about a 4-year span. I was living out in Wentzville, close to where you are, and started playing a bunch, and was actually looking for somebody to play with, and I didn't know this, but I didn't know Joe Bazzelli at the time, but he was only like 3 miles down the road.
Right.
And I thought, well, that would be fun if I could find somebody close by to play. But didn't get to meet Joe until actually got paired with him at the Songbird for our first showcase, which was fun. Then I got to know Joe through that. But started going to the open mics. Steve Perrone does an open mic at the Wolf, which is a lot of fun. It's a great open mic. I'm partial, but it's one of the best in St. Louis, I think. Started going there and just seeing how some of the songs would work, and people seemed to start were enjoying them, and got to work out a lot of the the performance anxieties thing, getting used to being in front of people and all that, and started having a great time with it. So kept writing, and through that you meet somebody else, and people approach me after an open mic thing and go, hey, you should come do this thing with me, and in a fairly short amount of time it grew to where I was getting asked to do some pretty interesting stuff, and so you've
only really been writing for like 5 years or something?
Well, I've been writing for longer than that, but I didn't write anything good. Well, I don't know if you can say that it wasn't any good, but the stuff that I do now, the stuff that I play out for people, I've only really been writing most of that stuff for about 5 years.
Yeah. And were you writing or just playing stuff for the kids when they were? Well,
I played bass at church, and I played a little bit of guitar, and I did write some stuff for the kids. As a matter of fact, when my kids were little, I used to sing them a song about. So most of my songs come from true life experiences or things that people tell me about, and I get to lie about them, make them sound better or whatever. But I had a neighbor. I had a partner that I worked with, and he lived down near DeSoto, Missouri, and he was telling me about his neighbor Emmett, who had chickens, and Emmett's chickens would always come over in his yard, and he kept telling me, you need to keep your chickens out of my yard, which I think is kind of dumb, let them run, but whatever it was. But anyway, he said, so one day he just, got his shotgun out and laid into the chickens. And so we wrote a song about Emmett and the chickens, and I used to sing it for the kids, and they remembered that all the years later. My daughter actually, when she went away to college, she had some music friends, and they got together and did a version of Emmett and sent it back to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I will credit her for my first big hit single.
There you go.
Yeah. Emmett and the Chicken Song.
That reminds me of a story. I'm a big Stern fan. I listen to his show quite a bit, and he like he's never been big on songwriters or writing, but he did write a song like when he was a kid, like 11 or 12 or whatever, and he wrote he had this recording, like his dad was obviously big into radio and stuff too, and had all this recording equipment around when he was a kid, and he recorded this song called like silver nickels and something dimes or whatever. Anyway, but like he stumbled upon this recording years later, and he was playing it on the show, and then somehow he got it to like Jewel, and she cut a version of it.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, and it actually like sounded good. There was like for such a goofy, silly song, and he actually and Jewel made it actually sound like a hit song. And there was another one too he wrote called like Psychedelic Bee or something like that, and then like that got picked up. I think Sugar Ray ended up cutting a version of it on their record or something like that. So it was funny that these songs like actually became something, even though they've been sitting there for 40 years or whatever. And so
I think there's probably a lot of material out there like that.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff that's really good, but you're never going to hear.
Right.
And then somehow it falls into the right hands, and
Yeah.
you never know. It's a weird. The whole songwriting thing is just a weird thing.
Sure. Yeah. You you ever kind of get into that? I mean, obviously you said your daughter cut one or whatever like that with her friends, but like, you ever get into that idea of pitching songs to artists and stuff? Or
Yeah, I have. I actually wrote. So one of my daughters went to Hollywood to do the actress thing, and she ended up doing some directing, and she did a video for Ben Folds and
oh, very cool.
Yeah, and the Flaming Lips and a couple other different people. Well, actually, it was a promotional thing for Bonnaroo, and so she did a video for, not this last year, was the year before. Anyway, she was also doing writing a show, and the producer of the show asked me to write some stuff for him, with the intention of the Flaming Lips singing it. Well, my stuff, Flaming Lips, yeah, not a great match, but so I wrote some stuff more in the vein of what they were looking for. It was very specific, and he passed on it, but it was fun to try to do it, to think, oh, okay, here's the show, here's what I have to do. It was a show about, like this wild kingdom, and the animals were going to rebel against unnatural products, and because it was a product placement kind of thing they were going to do in the show. So it was interesting to write for that, but other than that, as far as pitching my stuff, yeah, I've thought about it, but my stuff is kind of different.
All right.
It's not, Kenny Chesney's not going to record Almond Milk. That's just, that's just, so I've had to kind of wrestle with that and go, well, so I've tried to write stuff that's more in a country pop vein, or, and you got to conform to a certain, I've studied songwriting, well, what is it that actually makes a song worthy of being played and all that kind of stuff, and they go, well, a lot of the stuff I write just comes out the way it comes out, and I don't unless there's a big shift in what becomes popular,
Sure.
Probably that thing is not going to happen.
Well, I like your style though. I like that kind of like almost talking, kind of country songs like that, like a lot of how you play it, like and
thank you.
And it's just that storytelling of it all. Like there's so many, iconic songs that kind of come to mind in a similar kind of vein, where it's just like that, and then like there was particularly one on the record you gave me about like meeting Jesus and stuff, and kind of talking to him, and like I don't know, that kind of stuff. Like it's just it's fun the story that you tell in the songs, and that's like one of my favorite parts about songwriting is the storytelling and stuff. That's why I put that showcase together and everything else. Like so.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that was a fun. I actually wrote that song while I was driving. Connected to the last story, my daughter, when she did that promo for Bonnaroo, then when Bonnaroo happened, they sent her from L.A. They flew her to Bonnaroo to watch the show, to go to spend the weekend there. They had her put her up in a trailer and all this kind of stuff. So she said she felt a little guilty because, people were lining up behind the barrier and she got to walk out at the last minute for anyone she wanted to see. So we went down there. She was going to come back home with us after Bonnaroo. And so when it was all over, we went down there to pick her up and bring her back here. And then she was going to fly back to L.A. So within the scope of about 15 minutes, we were walking around in East Nashville, and was talking to some guys on the front porch of this little shop where they sold candles, and they had little chicks in a box in there, and homemade soap, and kind of a funky, edgy shop. I was talking to a couple guys on the porch about St. Louis baseball, and just good old boys, and they knew more about baseball in St. Louis than I did. I'm not a big sports guy, but anyway, I asked the guy, so what are you doing down here? He said, I came down to play music. I go, oh, that's cool. Well, how's it going? He said, good. He said, you making money? There's a lot of people down here. And he said, yeah, we're doing all right. And I said, okay, well, who you playing with or whatever? Maybe I've heard of you. He goes, my name's Ketchum from Old Crow Medicine Show. I'm like, oh, cool, So then I had to ask a stupid question. Of course, because that's what I do. But I said, all right, so that Wagon Wheel song, let's talk about that.
Right.
And the other guy that was with him was another guy from the band. I don't remember his name. But he was one of the co-writers on the song. I said, so, was it actually Bob Dylan's song? And he said, well, no, not really. Bob, said they could use it. It was kind of a partially written thing, and then they took it. And anyway, so that was cool. And I'm talking to those guys for about 10 minutes, and them explaining to me that I should come to their shows because my demographic would be well represented there. It's like, what's my demographic? Old guys. Old guys, yeah. Anyway, so we went to go have lunch then with my daughter, and I went to put some money in the meter. My wife went over to the restaurant where we were meeting them. And I get to the restaurant, and she's got this big smile on her face, and I said, what are you grinning about? She said, well, Matt Damon just held the door for me to come in. I was like, oh, that's just my little catch Secor story's kind of puny now. So then the guy that we had lunch with my daughter, he had a couple of big television shows, producer, guy, and just talking to him, that was very interesting. And as we left to drive home, of course, the girls immediately fell asleep, and I thought, man, that was cool. If we'd have stayed another half an hour, it kept getting better, maybe I would have met Jesus, and then I'd have just said stupid stuff to him too. Right. And that's where the song came from. I just started writing while I was driving, getting a melody in my head, and I'd pull over and write a line, and pull over and hum. Oh, okay, that'll fit. And then when I got home, I just wrote it all out. So one of my most fun songs. Yeah. For me, Joe likes it. Joe wants me to sing it all the time.
Yeah.
So. Well, I think that I wish I could hang out with Jesus. I'd ask how his mom was doing these days. I'd ask if he's still did carpenter stuff like a hobby, just for something to do. We could go grab a bite if he said he was hungry. I'd say, hey, this one's on me. And I'd order some fish, a small loaf of bread, and drink wine like we were getting it free. And I might even mention how my shoulder'd been hurting, or how I'd missed his old man. I'd try not to stare at the scars on his head, or the holes in his side and his hands. Yeah, I know if I met him, he'd leave an impression, but I don't think I'd impress him. I think that I wish I could hang out with Jesus, 'cause I ain't good at making amends. We could go fishing or just walk down the creek. I kinda leave that up to him. I might stay dry, just wait on the shore if he wants to go for a swim. And I might take him round and meet all my friends, if he don't yet know who they are. But my Chevy's broke down, so maybe I'll ask, hey, have you ever laid hands on a car? Yeah, I know if I met him, he'd leave an impression, but I don't think I'd impress him. I think that I wish I could hang out with Jesus, 'cause I ain't good at making amends. My whole world would be different, this I know, if I could get close enough just to touch the edge of his coat. I hope he don't notice my feet are all dusty. I never can get them quite clean. Yeah, I think that I wish I could hang out with Jesus, least I think, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I know if I met him, he'd leave an impression, but I don't think I'd impress him. I think that I wish I could hang out with Jesus, 'cause I ain't good at making amends. Oh yeah, I think that I wish I could hang out with Jesus, 'cause I ain't good at making amends. Amen.
It's interesting. Like I said, I love that kind of stuff, where how these things kind of where you were and how these songs kind of developed and stuff. So
Yeah.
I think it was. I know a lot of people like just kind of hum stuff into their phone now with their voice recordings and stuff. And I think Emily Wallace said something like that one day. Like, if anything happens to me, delete all the songs on my phone or something. Like, 'cause like all these ideas that she has on there and stuff. But it's interesting that saying like just kind of writing the line down. Then when you get home, you can put it all together and make that come together.
Yeah, I'll write stuff. Everybody's got a different process.
Yeah.
And, it all changes. But I'll write stuff and then play it for a couple days, or, record it and listen to it. And I go, oh, wait a minute, this, just a little twist on a word will work much better. Mm-hmm. Or, just the inflection in your voice will work a little better here or there, or how it phrases or
Sure.
words. And, so it changes, and then sometimes you get in a live situation and it completely changes because, it feels different to do or whatever. But, yeah, it's fun.
I'm a big fan of comedy as well.
and I'll go to, see guys telling the same joke over and over sometimes, and that's the same thing. Like they can change a word or one inflection or a pause or whatever it is, and it totally changes the joke, and it makes the joke hit harder or whatever it is. So it's like, one little change can make it all different. So
it's interesting too that with that kind of stuff, and I guess if I had to, if somebody said, what is your style? Well, I don't know. I don't even know our genre. I don't know. It's not purely comedy. It tends to lean that way. But it also has, I try to put a message in there, that kind of like Sesame Street used to do. It's fun, but there's something a little meatier to it, hopefully. Yeah. But it's interesting when I'm doing those songs sometimes for an audience that you can watch people in the crowd and they just glaze over when you're singing certain things. You start singing a song about almond milk and people look at you like, what the hell? Where are we? And some people like it and some people don't, And I guess I got to the point, and I don't know if maybe other artists, I almost use the word artist referring to myself. How about that? Have to be careful not to do that. Some other hillbilly songwriters, let's go there. You write a song and you think, oh, I like this. And you play it for somebody, and one person looks at you like you got three heads, and you play it for somebody else and they're just besides themselves, oh man. So you got to get past that caring.
Yeah.
I guess that's the way to put it.
Sure. Well, I mean, and I've gone through the same thing myself. I mean, obviously I know not everything I do is going to be for everybody, but hopefully I find somebody that likes it, and if you don't like it, go on to the next one. There's plenty of.
It's pretty easy to hit the next button on most every device we have now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's
not like you got to lift the arm off of the needle to change the record.
Yeah. Not anymore.
Not anymore. Well, it's coming back, or it came back, or who knows?
I collect a ton of records myself.
Do you? I wish I'd had all the records I collected.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gave them all away. I have one.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to give it to you. It's in my car. When we leave, I'll give it to you. It's a cool old record. It's called Nashville Bound or something, and it's just old guys. I liked the cover.
Yeah.
So that's my one album that I own.
All right.
Yeah. Cheers.
All right. Jackpot. Getting gifts.
There you go.
We did do some live jamming, and I wanted to kind of throw one of these on here for you. This is a song called Your Phone that you played, and it also appears on your album. I think this is you even said something too pretty relatable. I think I'm sure everybody can kind of been stuck in their own world with their phone sometimes, and so you kind of wrote a song about that. And, anything else you need to add around this one?
No, I won't say it's a true story because my wife is an amazing person who is not stuck in her phone, and but I could see where some people's relationships are bound up by the phone. And the other part of the song where the toilet paper thing actually happened. We were all sitting at the table, and my son got a text, or my daughter got a text. She got up and went and got toilet paper and walked across the room. I go, where are you going? Well, her brother had texted her from the bathroom and said, bring me a roll of toilet paper. Write that down.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So that's it.
Yeah.
There's the truth in that one. All right, a love song. You used to sit and listen when we used to sit and talk. You used to take me with you when we'd go out for a walk. But I ain't number one no more, I feel like number two. I've been replaced, there ain't much I can do. And I feel so all alone since you got your new phone. Because your phone does things that I can't do. Your phone is always calling you. You say you just can't wait till we're alone. just you and me and your phone. You used to charge me up at night before we went to sleep, but now you only get turned on when you hear a beep. You reach out and caress it the way we used to do. It seems you have forgotten that I vibrate too, and I feel so all alone since you got your new phone, because your phone does things that I can't do. Your phone is always calling you. You say you just can't wait till we're alone, just you and me and your phone. You sent me a text, it said we are home alone, and you needed something from me that you can't get from a phone. But I got all excited, but then down there when I scrolled, it said I'm out of toilet paper, could you bring me a roll? But it's your phone doing things that I can't do. Your phone is always calling you. You say you just can't wait till we're alone, just you and me. It's you and me, it's you and me and your phone. There you go.
There's you were saying that a lot of these are kind of come from something like that, like a lot of true events that.
That or something somebody will say to me, or you know,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know where the weirdness comes from. It just you know, sometimes I start writing a song and it takes a different direction, you know. Yeah.
But I think that's a fun way of doing it, though. Like there's that little bit of truth in there, even though the rest of it can be exaggerated and everything else. But it all started with one little piece of truth that.
Yeah, I hear something that sounds. I like the way it sounds, like, you know, just the phrase, and then just try to write around it.
I have that kind of. I mean, it's sort of a theory I've talked about with other songwriters, but I mean, like I just kind of have this idea that like you hang around an old guy long enough, you're gonna write a couple of hit songs, because like they all speak in these phrasings and stuff where they say something, you're like, that's a hook in a song right there, whatever, you know, like they'll say some line that's. And it's just like totally like that could definitely be a hit song right there, or hit, you know, be a hook in a song and everything else. But I haven't been able to apply it. I don't have that writing ability yet. But that's kind of my goal is to get into writing someday.
Yeah,
it's kind of a bucket list thing for me.
Come on over. We'll sit down and hash out. I'll tell you everything that doesn't work for me.
Right.
We'll start with the stuff that doesn't work.
Yeah. We already kind of started writing one the other day, that Mountain Dew and Little Debbie's I was telling you about.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. You sent me a line, and I like writing that way. I like bouncing stuff back and forth with people, and then, you know, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe I'll have to workshop that idea. See what.
I love it. Mountain Dew and Debbie too.
Yeah.
One is green, one is creamy blue. I don't know.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's pretty stupid. Too late. Too bad you can't back that up and erase it.
Right.
Well, you know what? That's how songwriting works, though. You write it out, that stream of conscious thing. Sometimes you sit down and you just let stuff come out, and then you look at it and go, yeah, that's dumb. You get rid of that. Or, yeah, that's dumb. Yeah, let's make sure that stays.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just the right amount of dumb, huh?
Just the right amount of dumb.
There you go.
I haven't mastered that yet. Most of mine seem to go over the top with the dumb, but that's all right.
Is this, I mean, like I said, you kind of have this, you're not really like full on comedy, but like I said, there are definitely funny things in there. Growing up, were you kind of a funny kid, or were you, or how were you? What was?
You mean was I skinny and got beat up? Yeah. That's what I was. Yep, that's what I was. No, I don't see myself as having been a funny kid.
Right.
I think things are funny. You know, I see things and I just think things are funny. I
Sure.
just see a lot of funny, and sometimes not until you say them, until you start saying it, and then you go, oh man, that's funny, But and a lot of times I've tried writing serious songs. For the most part, they just come out. I just hear something in it that goes, wait a minute, that's interesting. Goes that direction. Or, but I like for people to have a good time. And when I do a live show, if we're having fun, that's I have no intention of being, anything. I don't, the whole, and good thing, the whole star thing, I'm not worried about being popular or any of that kind of stuff because, I only got so many years left, But I just like to have fun. And when I look out and I see people having a great time, or like, did the Songbird and, and a couple times, and it just was a blast,
Sure.
People are having a great time, and the energy in the room is fun, and if people come up and go, and I just lifted my spirits, and that's, I like that. I like doing that. I like for people just to enjoy themselves, so that's enough,
You're saying that you're took a little bit of a hiatus, but you're coming back. You're coming for the summer. You're gonna be playing some more like the farmer market stuff. And,
yeah, well, a couple things is we were playing. I had a duo worked out with a guy, and we were playing pretty hot and heavy. We were out at Friendship Brewery in Wentzville a bunch of times, and had a great place to play, and played the Wolf, and we do the farmers markets because those are really a lot of fun. You get a lot of people that come through, and you can play the same one song over and over again most of the time because people are just walking by. But that's a lot of fun. I really enjoy that. But one of the things about aging is that your hearing changes. So places like Friendship, and last weekend we played out at Roasted Coffee and Wine out in Wentzville, a new place out there. The room is loud, and it takes, for the style of music that I do, it's hard to hear, and my ears, I have tinnitus, so my ears are ringing the whole time, and you don't get to feel you lose a little bit of intimacy in that kind of environment. So I kind of was like, I gotta, maybe back off from this, but then I get offered to do that kind of stuff again. It's like, I gotta go do it, I want to focus more on, I'm going to do some more writing, and if I can come up with stuff that's marketable that I could pitch to someone, sure.
Yeah.
I might start doing some of that. Just want to get to be a better player and a better writer. And the main thing is to have fun.
Sure.
I don't have anything on the schedule other than that, and these few opportunities I was telling you. When I thought I would take a break, I got approached by several places that said, hey, we want you to come here. And it's like, okay, well, I guess that's what I'm going to have to be doing then.
Sure.
So that's fun.
Yeah, that's funny how the universe kind of works that way, Like,
yes.
Kind of,
yep.
I'm going to take a break. No, you're not. You're going to...
No, you're not. That's right.
Right.
No breaks for you.
Yep.
There are things that you need to say that haven't been said yet.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, Hope, are you familiar with Hope Dunbar?
I've definitely heard the name. I don't know.
We'll have to hook you up with her when she comes through. She is a Eric Barnes, friend of Eric Barnes. I met through Eric Barnes.
That's where I know the name from, because I think Eric they co-wrote a song together, and
yes, they did. Great song.
That's where the name came about.
But she had said something to me once about why you do it, and Hope's a dynamo. She is just all into every corner of the songwriting thing. She's a great performer. She's a wonderful person. She's got great music, and every time you turn around, she's doing some next. She's probably more busy than you are, so that tells you anything about her. But anyway, she said something about the reasons that you do it, and it's for all of the other stuff, it's not about money. Definitely not about money, which is a good thing, and it's not about fame and fortune or any of that kind of stuff. that's what the world needs. The world needs those songs.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, you're telling me the world needs a song about a down dog barking? You know? Okay, well, that's what I'll write then. You know, you need a song about coffee as compared to, you know, a metaphor for physical intimacy. Okay, we'll write that song too. We got it.
Right, I got you covered.
Yeah. She had posted a thing on her webpage, I guess, or put up something about, she saw a little sign, handwritten sign that said, wanted used tennis balls for dog. And she put this up on her webpage like, you know, okay, there's a song prompt, you know, who would write a song to something like that? And I was like, well, I would. That's right up my alley. So I wrote this whole song. We was having a ball, old Shep and me. Then he fell for a poodle with a pedigree. The owner was pretty enough for me. The future looked bright far as I could see. And we painted the town, the pups played and run. It was over so fast, yeah, it was over and done. She called me one day, but it wasn't for fun. She said there's a litter, and she didn't need none. I've got 9 little doggies, mother poodle, she said. They chew on my shoes and they chew on my bed. They chew on my socks and my good overalls. Oh, where am I gonna find me some good used tennis balls? So, you know, it's like, just take whatever it is, and if the world needs that song, okay, great.
Yeah.
Obviously it doesn't, because... Did I mention Luke Bryan hasn't called me yet?
Oh, yeah, he hasn't even returned the calls yet.
He hasn't called me. He probably hasn't heard it. Yeah. Yeah, well.
Right.
Yeah.
You, I don't know. That, it's crazy. His whole career blew up like that. He's doing pretty well for himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe you, maybe one of these days he'll cut almond milk or something.
Cut almond milk.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. I will. Luke. Hey, Luke, if you hear this,
He's a big fan, so let him.
if you're out there, Luke, you cut almond milk. I tell you what I do. I will. I'll donate all of the proceeds from almond milk to Shane's favorite charity. How's that? We'll go with that.
There we go.
Okay, let it happen.
Yep. Put it out there. Let the universe take over.
There you go.
Well, yeah, man. Let's drop in one more. This is, like I said, we do have you have a CD available. With like 12 songs on there, or something.
It changes because those are self-produced.
Yeah.
And I'll send off and have a batch made up of, you know, some of them have 12, and I go, oh, wait a minute, I want people to have this song too.
Sure.
So then I'll throw some more, and I'll go, wait a minute, why is that song on there? You know. So then I'll send off and have a batch of those made, and really, I mean, I sell them just to recover the money that I put into it. Plus, I don't know. So one of the things that I do, speaking of money, is or not money actually, is I take old guitars and fix them up, and then I donate them to this place, Walter's Walk, is one of the places they do a showcase, which I have to connect you with Steve Gibbons too.
Yeah.
They have a lot of people come through there doing songwriter showcases, and a lot of local people will do it, and it's a lot of fun, and it's a place where they do counseling for people who can't afford counseling. So we'll take I'll pick up a $50 or $100 guitar and go through it and fix it up, and then raffle them off that night, and they may make $400 or $500 to to give to Walter's Walk. And so if anybody has a guitar they want it to go to a nice charity, look me up. I will. I'll turn it into something playable, or we'll make it more than firewood, and we'll give it a good home. We'll donate to somebody that can really use it.
That's a really cool thing. Like I remember there was a story recently in the news that there was like I believe a young girl in Cardinal Glennon or something like that, like here in St. Louis, and she won like one of her things. She just wanted a guitar to start playing around with it while she was laying there in her bed at the hospital and stuff, and like something. I guess the word got back to like Taylor Swift, and she went and brought her a guitar and stuff. And
I saw that. Yeah, that was very cool.
So, so I thought that was really neat. But like, I mean, that's the thing. Like, you never know what. I mean, obviously coming from Taylor, like that's huge. But like anybody, just giving a guitar to somebody that in need, like that's a gift that can change their life. You never know what song they might write on that guitar or whatever it is and stuff. So, I think that's a really cool thing to think about. Yeah, so.
Well, the songwriter Harlan Howard wrote a lot of stuff back in the early days of the songwriting boom, I guess, in Nashville. Said that there is a song in every guitar. You just have to pull it out of there. So I like taking a different guitar and seeing what's in it, and and a lot of my stuff was written on on different guitars.
Yeah.
So that's been fun.
Yeah, you have several here. Is there? Do you are any of these pretty significant to you, or
significant to me? No, they're all trash. That's all. That's all. No, actually, there's something I like about each one of those guitars.
Yeah.
I find them and put them together, and I'll play it, and I go, man, today that guitar sounds really good, and then I'll play it. This one here is actually one of the most fun guitars that I have that I didn't think it would be. But I play that one a lot for shows, and my kids all chipped in and bought me a nice guitar. When I retired, they all went together and threw in a couple $100 each and bought me a nice Breedlove, and it doesn't leave the room that much. I kind of keep that around here.
Yeah.
But no, they're all, I have them today, and tomorrow somebody might give me something. I think the guy gave me this one, and I turned it into a little acoustic bass, which is fun, and then somebody will go, hey, do you have a guitar? I go, yeah, here you go. I've had guitars out for several years where somebody would remind me that I, gave them a guitar. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Oh yeah, well that's when I started on it. Now I'm doing this, and now I'm doing that, and that's fun. So yeah, I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it just started as a hobby.
Well, I've always been a tinkerer, and I can't leave well enough alone, so. There's no telling what might happen to a guitar once I get it. Like this one, as you can see, when I hurt my shoulder, I cut the corner of it off so I could actually, not have to do this because that hurt. So I play it like this. But I also recently figured out how to put effects in an acoustic guitar.
Okay.
And so. You can hear the little bit of reverb in there, or what is that? That's a little bit of delay. Yeah, and that's been fun to fool around with, and so a few people. A few people have heard them and go, oh, I want one of those. So I'll put one together for them and take whatever money I make and turn it back into, buying something else to fix up. And
yeah.
So that's been fun.
Yeah.
And that's let's spread it around.
Sure.
I like we started this whole thing off. I kind of went backwards. I started late in the game, very late, and just having a good time. And I don't have to worry about money. Because I've been through all of that and scraping and struggling and working all the overtime that you could, or picking up, making little things here and there and trying to pick up a few dollars. And, then I married right. And Mama let me retire. My wife is a nurse with the VA. And so she's like, yeah, do the music thing. So I started doing that, and I don't have to worry about those kinds of things so much, so I can give stuff away,
Yeah.
And that's fun. So anybody out there that needs a guitar, I asked for guitars. I said, anybody out there that's got one they want to donate, great, we'll turn it into something for somebody else. Or if you're just like really down on your luck and you need something, look me up. Maybe we can fix you up.
Right on. Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as you don't squander it and pawn it and buy drugs or something.
Right.
Or at least if you do, you know, you get them from a reputable source. Whatever.
So you can find reach out KennyLeeHall.com and Kenny Lee Hall Songs on Facebook. You can get involved on his fan page there, and I guess be posting dates there too. And
yeah, but you know what that?
Yeah.
So kudos to you for knowing how to work the whole Facebook thing.
oh yeah,
Oh man, because you have, that's been part of, I think, your visibility, and that whole Facebook thing has eluded me. You know, I don't. Well, actually, just in the last couple of days, I've determined that I've got to start doing stuff with it, because I created the page. You know, I don't do much with it, but I get one or two people go there every day, and I go, I gotta figure something out how to do this. So
sure.
I've made some changes,
Yeah,
but
I you know, one time I was having a conversation with Steve Ewing, and he kind of helped me kind of put all this in perspective and stuff. Like he was, I think at the time it was on MySpace maybe or something like that, but he'd start posting shows, and he would make it a regular thing where he would post it, you know, whatever it was, every day or every once a week at the same time, and all this stuff like that. So people were constantly looking for it then.
Mm-hmm.
They knew where to go, and stuff, and that's sort of like what happened for me was like when I started putting those like lists together and stuff, like, because now people like are always, you know, if I don't post it early enough, I start getting messages like, where, you know, where's the list at, you know, that kind of stuff. People start, so it's interesting now that people are, it's kind of become a demand for it. People are looking for it all the time and stuff. So anyway,
I'm telling you, brother, you've got a service that people, I mean, you're doing a service for the music community.
Yeah,
Definitely.
thanks, man. Yeah,
Definitely.
I'm glad people are there. I'm just trying to help my friends. That's all. That's the whole thing.
I told you what John Parker told me.
Yeah.
He said, if you haven't talked to Shane Presley, you're probably not really doing much music-wise in St. Louis.
All right.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'm trying to do my part. And,
Well, we appreciate it.
Yeah,
We do.
happy to help.
Everybody does.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
I think you connect a lot of people with other people too, which is
That's really the goal, like to kind of shine a light on the whole city, because there's a lot of people that kind of get stuck in their bubble of like, this is, you know, I know this kind of stuff, but like having somebody like myself going around documenting everything around the whole city, like I think people realize there's, you know, a lot more going on, and that's how I'm hoping, you know, let alone fans, but hopefully you know, other players are listening to the show and meeting other people and stuff, and I, again, talking about kind of putting 3 strangers together on my showcase earlier. That's a lot of it is. Like, I want, hopefully they'll collaborate and jam together someday, or write some songs or whatever it is, and you never know what could happen, you know, after that. So yeah, it's a big networking tool, really. Like, that's all I'm trying to do with this, and bring the community together, let people know that there's a lot of cool things happening around St. Louis area. And so yeah, it's been a whole lot of fun. Let's drop in one more song for everybody. A song you said called Dawgz.
Dawgz. True story, that one.
True story on this one.
Yeah. You want to hear the story?
I do.
It's not interesting. But you want to hear it anyway?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, I was dating a young girl. Well, she wasn't young. She wasn't all that young. Anyway, we were dating, and she said to me one time, you know, at just the wrong moment when things were becoming, we were getting cozy, and she said, "So just so you know, I don't like dogs." And I was like, "What? You don't like dogs? What? Why would you even say that to me?" So the whole song came about because of that.
Right.
That was the whole song. Yeah. The whole song is about not liking dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, drop that in there.
There you go.
I met a girl, she was cute as a pup. And I commenced to chatting her up. We were getting along real nice, like Adam and Eve in paradise. She whispered softly in my ear words I never thought I'd hear. I took her by the hand and I led her down the hall. Right out the door, that's it, that's all. And I said, "What do you mean you don't like dogs. How you think you and me gonna ever get along? You look real pretty, but your head's on wrong. What do you mean? You don't like dogs. She said a bird would make a real nice pet. An alpaca, that'd be better yet. She mentioned other pets she tried. I never let her back inside. She said a dog just shed and smell, and bark and hump your leg as well. And I said, yeah, that stuff is true, but they make much better friends than you. Yeah, I said, what do you mean you don't like dogs? How you think you and me gonna ever get along? You look real fine, but your head's on wrong. What do you mean you don't like dogs? Yeah, they say a dog is a man's best friend. Well, dogs, they just love women too. But the truth is, every now and then a little hump on a leg is good for you. Yeah, what do you mean you don't like dogs? How you think you and me gonna ever get along? You look real fine, but your head's on wrong. What do you mean you don't like dogs? True story.
Well, you said those are all those CDs are. Can we reach out through Kenny Lee?
Sure,
Hall?
yeah. Anybody contacts me through kennyleehall.com or the Facebook page, I'll make sure they get one.
Are you still doing some of those YouTube videos and stuff? Or
Yeah, I did. And then I realized how lame they were, and because people would say to me, you know, hey, man, you need to do YouTube. I go, okay, yeah, you know. So I do a video and put it up, and I go. Then I watch it later and go, what are you doing? Get that off of there. That's the goofiest thing. So I don't know. There's an energy to doing. You know, I found that people have a good time at the show. You know, for whatever reason you're there that night. Maybe they're just drinking too much. I don't know. But a video doesn't capture that.
Yeah.
You know, it just doesn't have the same vibe. And half of what I do is just having fun with people, you know. So, I mean, I wouldn't go on there and watch the whole thing all the way through. Go, what is this crap? Guy's
Right.
wearing a raincoat and playing the song. Turn this off. Yeah, and it's all, you know, homemade. I'm not spending a ton of money on this
all right,
kind of stuff. So, no producer has ever approached me about, hey, let's do this. But anyway, yeah, so there are a few videos up, and the songs. I will make CDs like a generic CD, and I just give them away at the shows sometimes. If somebody, hey, I like your songs, you know, and here, take one of my CDs. Spend your money on the guy who who's put studio time in
Sure.
and advertising and all that, whose stuff is worth $15, you know, and take mine and listen to it once and then turn it over and put your coffee on it on the dining room table in the morning, you know. I mean, really, you know, some people, you know, it's a picture, there's a picture of me on the cover. Spill juice on it. You know, buy somebody else's good CD and yeah. But if somebody wants one, sure, give me a call. I'll make sure you get one. I'll get a flood of
after that sales pitch.
Inquiries about people who want to save their dining room tables.
All right,
and that's fine. Listen to the song once or don't. You know.
Well, very cool. This has been a ton of fun, Ken. Appreciate you doing this show.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for all that you do for the community, man. I mean, you're just think. How old are you?
33.
33.
Yeah.
Man, see, I'll be 63 in a month. So, when you're 63, people are going to be going, hey, Shane, I heard it's your 9,677th interview. But all the music will be computer generated, so you'll be interviewing a laptop that's the size of your thumbnail.
That's the dream.
And good luck with that.
Yeah.
Remember you remember now that I said that when it happens. You remember. Kenny Hall told me this is going to happen.
It's on the record now.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Predicting the future.
well, thanks, man. I
thank
appreciate you coming out, and it's been a pleasure. It's fun.
It's been a whole lot of fun.
We'll see you out at places, and
Yeah, come on out. Come see Kenny live soon, and then
whenever he starts doing something again, get out there and see him. Hey, I'll tell you what. You want to hear Kenny Lee Hall? You call me. You come over to my house. We'll sit around and play together.
There you
How's
go.
that?
Yeah. All right, buddy. I'll see you soon, my friend.
All right. Thanks, Shane. Appreciate
you.
it, man.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Rock Paper Podcast. Rock Paper Podcast. Rock Paper Podcast.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Well, yeah, that was it.